Hello guys, this is Timothy Mason coming to you from my room, and this is another vlog I'm doing. As y'all know, I am a published author on Amazon. I published two ebooks. One is a Principality of Bullets, my bad, which came out last year, late October, and the other one I just came out with last month called Ravengaddafi. So today, well, first let me just basically say that, for many of you who see my videos, y'all also know, and for those of you who don't know, I also do blogs on WordPress, and I started launching a series yesterday of articles where I was going to do like historical unknowns, like things that you wouldn't think, things that we do today that people did in the past, and that no one has really drawn a connection between the two. Anyway, I uploaded the one yesterday's. That was about emojis, ancient emojis, specifically hieroglyphics, and how hieroglyphics are kind of like emojis today. But the point is that I don't even know how to explain this issue, but I was going to do another one tonight, and it was going to be about graffiti. The problem is that I don't know. I had a problem with WordPress. I don't know if it's me or if it's the website, or it could be anything. I don't know. I like WordPress. I think WordPress is way better than what's the other joint called? Blogger. Like Blogger, it was okay back in the day. It was like one of the first things, but then you have WordPress. WordPress to me is a little bit more professional. But the problem is that there seems to be no, and like I said, this could be me, I don't know, because sometimes I'll be tripping. There is no compatibility between the mobile site and the actual desktop site. Like there's been twice where I tried to write an article, and I wrote an article like one time on desktop, and when I upload it on the desktop, I go to my phone because I'm out all the time. Well, so it's like, I need to be able to share it, so I go to my phone and I share it a couple times a day on my Facebook, Twitter, and my Snapchat. But the thing is, if I upload an article from the desktop, it won't show up on the mobile site. Now, like I said, that could just be me, or it could be how they run things. I don't know. But another thing I noticed, that if you're like writing an article on the mobile site, the font settings, you have to be careful, because like I'm one of those people who, like, sometimes if I write something, I write it down on another format, like on Word, text, or something, and then I'll copy and paste it and put it onto something later. So like for instance, like I wrote an essay off of Word, and I just wrote and I sent it to myself via email, and I checked the email on my phone, and I copied and pasted everything and pasted it onto the WordPress and started editing it. But when I uploaded, the font was like dark, so nobody could really see the font, so I had to go back and change that. And it's like I lost my train of thought. But I had to change it, and it wasn't that easy to change. I mean, you just go on the desktop, whatever. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm not really taking a break from WordPress. I'm just like, I don't have no beef with them. I still think they're good, And I just started using it, so I mean, it could be something that could be overlooked, but I don't know. Like, I'm just not gonna worry with it. Like, it's just like, I don't know. When I come into a problem, like some people, they just get like, like some people get pissed, mad, stressed, or whatever. Me, when I come into a problem, I don't initially get upset, a little stressed, but I think about it and be like, I wonder if this happened for a reason, and could I do something different with it? So I'm just one of those people. It's like, okay, maybe this is giving me the opportunity to do something else. Like, you know, this whole publishing thing is new to me. Like, when I first came out with my book last year, like, I didn't really have a grand plan, and now I have a grand plan, and it's just been changing so drastically, but in a good way, you know. Of course, along the line, you know, some success is going to be good, some success is going to be bad, but some success, but but see, you know you're succeeding when you have some bad shit along the way. You know, you need failure in order to succeed. So, I don't know. I may continue doing the WordPress. I may not. I'm not going to say I'm not going to continue doing it. Who knows? I may do it. But, I don't know. Fuck it. I'll just do a video tonight. Alright. So, moving on from that. Another thing I'm going to be doing this month of April coming up, and this week alone is just going to be crazy, yo. So, first things first. I'm going to a conference this weekend. Well, actually, let me step back even more. I am currently in college. I am a history major, and I love history. I mean, I love it. So I have an opportunity rather, to attend the Layman Conference or Mid-Atlantic Conference on British Studies in College Park, Maryland. So I'm going to be attending that all weekend. It looks pretty interesting. I'm pretty excited about it. But the biggest trip is next week. I'm going to Canada. I'm going to Toronto, travel there for another historical conference. That is the Medieval Academy of America annual meeting conference, whatever have you. And like I said, it's in Toronto, so I'm more excited about that than anything else. Like, I don't know, I just got everything together, and like I said, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're not going to talk too much about Canada because I'm going to do a lot of vlogs while I'm up there. So, and I'm going to upload them every day for y'all to see. So, and as I get closer to it, like probably next Monday or Tuesday before I leave, because I leave like early Wednesday morning, so I may just do a vlog before I leave that night on Tuesday. But anyway, I'm going to briefly touch upon my Toronto trip today, and I'm going to go more into detail on it Monday, Tuesday, like I said, and then y'all going to get the vlogs. Y'all going to get the vlogs on during the trip. So anyway, I picked up this magazine. I don't know if y'all can. Oh, it does show like this is my first vlog. Well, one of my first like real true ones. So okay, so I got this magazine. It's called Toronto. Actually, my mother got it for me, and I'll go through that later on. You know, some good pictures in here. Damn, they got hockey game. Oh man, they got lacrosse. I am a big lacrosse fan. To use that don't know. Love lacrosse. Yeah, Toronto seems like a pretty good place, and I already got some plans up, and like I said, I'm gonna talk about that later on. I'm not gonna get into it right now. Oh shit, I didn't even see this. Look at this. All the landmarks, yo. Ain't that something? But I will. Let me talk about something real quick though that I saw in here the other day. Wonderful. Oh, that's Niagara Falls. I ain't gonna be able to go there. Unfortunately, I can't get to Niagara Falls. It's too far away when I get there. And my trip is already congested. It's only like 3 days, so can't see everything, but you can see most things. And where was this thing at? There was something on here. It was about food. They got a thing called poutine. I don't know what it is. Well, I know I've seen pictures. It's basically. It's like, you know how we in America will have french fries, and usually on french fries we put ketchup, honey mustard, mayonnaise. Well, up in Toronto, what they'll do is they'll give you like a bowl of french fries, and there'll be meat in it, lettuce, tomatoes. It's basically like french fries with some type of salad, so to speak. And it looked pretty good, so that's one of the first times I'll try when I get up there. That is something I really want to look for. Where the fuck is it? Yeah, okay, I think I found it. The page, rather. This is it. Right here. Oh, shit. That is poutine. It's like fries with, is that the right picture? Yeah. This is mango jerk chicken poutine, whatever. I don't know how to focus this camera. I don't know if I should put it over there, so I'm just looking. But yeah, that's what I want to try. And also, my little sister, my baby girl, Keely, she gonna get mad because see, they got taco ice cream. Now it ain't tacos with ice cream eating. It's like regular ice cream and waffle shells. So I'm gonna try that when I get there, definitely. Yeah, she gonna be mad jealous. I told her about that. She was like, "Oh my God, Timmy." I was like, "Yeah." That's my girl. I love her. So, all right. So we're gonna talk about writing shit today. Damn, this one was going faster than I thought. I thought I would take more time to explain things. Maybe I'm doing anyway. Whatever. Okay, so for those of you who saw my Snapchat yesterday, this is what I picked up out of Barnes and Noble's Reader's Digest. Usually I don't pick this up. Usually I'm not one of those writers who like, oh, I got to go to writing conferences. Oh, I got to learn this from this writer. But like I said, when I first decided to do this book, I had one idea, and then after that became another idea. So I mean, I'm in a career mode now, and usually when you have an idea for a career, you go into it with an idea. You don't think you're going to take upon things that you never did before, but you end up taking upon things. So I bought this, and plus it caught me because it's about short. Damn, dog. It's like hard between seeing it and like that, So short stories. Now that brings us to how to begin this. Sorry. I like my second book more than my first book. I know that's probably the wrong thing to say. I like them both, but some books and some stories you feel more than others. Renegade is the tale of four separate anti-heroes. I think that's the right term. I'm not sure. But the thing is about these guys, they are all rogues in some sort of way. Like you got one guy who is declared Warden of Scotland, and this guy, the Warden, like I'm one of those writers where, not everybody gets a name, but they refer to something. So anyway, this guy, the Warden, he was fighting a rebellion with a king who was rebelling against an empire. Like you have emperors, and you have kings, and you have princes, stuff like that. Some empires will give a person control of a vast territory, and he'll be like, what is it, an honorary king. So anyway, this guy was rebelling. There was an honorary king who was rebelling against the emperor. Eventually that king's rebellion fell, but the Warden was working with that rebel king. And so basically what I'm trying to say is that this guy, he betrayed his king. In the end, he got rewarded for his betrayal by getting his own territory, a position or whatever. But the place he was sent to, Scotland, which was his domain where he was supposed to look after in the emperor's name, there were rebels on the loose who had fought with this honorary king. And so basically what you have here is a rebel who gets, you have a rebel who rebels against his king and then is facing rebellion from other people. So it's like, it's one of those funny things where it's like, where you think like, damn, this nigga went through this to get a position of power, and now he has to fight against people who's taking that position of power, just like he was doing with somebody else, Like, I hope I'm explaining this right. Sometimes I explain things and I'm not really sure. Like I'm one of that's why I write too. So it's like when I write a story, I feel like I'm explaining it to you better than as I'm telling it to you like this. Like me, I'm one of those people where I learn through show. And I also teach through show. So it's one of those things. But yeah, you have that where the guy, he was a rebel. He got pardoned for his crimes, and now he's fighting a rebellion against other people. Like it just makes you think like, was that worth it, to do? Or should you have stuck it out? But another story is in Ireland, and this is about, a group of kids who go missing in a little village, and somebody gets blamed for it. And So there's like a sheriff who's sent to oversee the crime, but this sheriff, he's like, you know how we have cops today who don't really give a shit about their job, and they're just like, you know, they get called to a case and they really don't care, and the system they work for is so corrupt, and they're so corrupt, and they have demons, and they just don't, you know, really put no effort into it. Well, this sheriff was that type of sheriff, was that type of cop. Now, notice all this is during medieval times, like a medieval fantasy type world, but the realms are in no way connected, but the author is connected. We'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, this sheriff, you know, he finds something out about this case at the end of the story, or at the end of the trial, whatever, and it just becomes a wake-up call to him, where it's like, you know, he's done so much of the wrong thing and he doesn't care about his job, but this case makes him care, you know. That's another thing. Another story we have is about, you know, the friend of a prince who watches his friend die, and when that prince dies, a new royal family springs up into power. But the prince's friend and several other people, they don't want to take power from this guy who killed their prince, so they began a web of treachery to destroy that king. And those are some of the stories about, you know, it's like about 4 or 5 of them. Very, very short story, about 25 pages. So if you download it, you know, you could literally finish that joint like an hour or 2 max. You know, and that's another thing I thought about too. I was like, initially I was not a fan of short stories. Initially, I was like, I'm one of those writers who can go on and on and on. But short stories have apparently been good to me, you know. Like, initially, I'm a person who writes long, detailed stories. But somehow, the stories that I just, you know, published on Amazon, they're so short. And I took it upon myself and I said, you know what? Why don't I keep these short? Because people, you know, one of the common things you hear from people is, oh, I don't have time to read, I'm too busy, and this, that, and the third. Hate that shit. But considering that my first book was 18 pages and my second book 25 pages, it got me to thinking like, maybe I should keep them this short so that people will read them, you know. And that'll like persuade people to buy your stuff. Like, if you tell them like, yeah, I wrote a full-length novel, they'll be like, oh, that's cool, and they'll probably read it and start reading it. You know, how many of us buy novels and we get like through like the first 2 chapters and then we get on board with something else and we just never really get a chance to finish it? I think that happens to everybody. So my thing was, it was like, all right, why don't I, you know, just publish these stories, you know, in a you know, like my book, well, the second book, Renegades, is what you can call anthology. Now, I know some anthologies, you know, they still have short stories, but they're still pretty long, like over 100 pages or so. But I was like, I don't know. I see advantages in unfortunate situations. In unfortunate situations, I cannot talk to that. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna publish this like it is. 12 pages is good, because if I get somebody to read that, they can finish that and be done with it, you know. And I'm like, I want people to actually read my stuff and think, you know. Like, I don't want somebody, I don't want somebody say, why does this keep on? I don't want somebody opening my book and, you know, getting about this much, and then you still have all this left, and then not even finish it. Like, now I'm gonna write a novel one day. I have plans. Like, I have a few series I'm working on. But right now, to get my name out there and get my career started, it's probably best to do little shorts and see how people like them and give that, because that you want to build up your base, you know. So sometimes, you know, you can come out with a novel and get a good base, but patience, you know. So anyway, that's what I want to do with mine. And yeah, and so, you know, so I just never thought that anthologies and short stories, even vlogs and tweets and fuck. don't know who number this is, but I'm gonna call him back. Alright, so yeah, I don't know who the fuck that was. But in any case, that's what I really wanted to discuss today. And I wanted to briefly touch upon the magazine I just showed you, Writer's Choice, Writer's Digest, and I just want to read a couple things that stuck out to me. Where was it? There's something on here I saw that I thought of. See, the cover story is talking. This whole article, not the article, but the theme of this week's or month's or whatever issue is about anthologies. But damn, I just saw it. I should have highlighted it or something. Oh, here we go. Now listen to this. Apart from its brevity, there is no one satisfactory definition of flash fiction, because, like poetry, the genre keeps evolving and branching off in mere direction. Alright guys, sorry, I had briefly cut it for a second because somebody kept calling my phone over and over again. And when I finally picked up, he was like, "Hey, I'm looking for Short Dog." I'm like, "What?" He said, "Short Dog." Like Snoop Dogg? I don't know, people crazy. Anyway, but back to what I was saying, this thing said that, you know, the generic keeps evolving and branching off. I feel like my writing is evolving and branching off because what I'm doing is I am writing a story, but every story has been observed. Alright. Every story that I'm going to be publishing, that I have published since the first day and forever, how long down the line, is all witnessed by one man, a time traveler, a universal traveler. Like, this guy, this is where the name Ravengaddafi comes from, and this is who Ravengaddafi is. So many of you all know I have this thing where every time where my social media says Ravengaddafi, I have a shirt that says Ravengaddafi, my YouTube channel says Ravengaddafi. You know, it's hell, I even got a card holder that says Ravengaddafi on it. So a lot of people ask me, like, who's Ravengaddafi? I simply say, you know, he's my alter ego. But he's also a man. I'm gonna go out on a limb and tell y'all, I believe in reincarnation. I believe I've come back 6 or 7 times. And then Ravengaddafi. So Ravengaddafi is basically like that, man. You know, he's a historian, a mysterious man who has lived, witnessed, and observed, you know, many time periods, not only in our universe but several other universes. And, you know, he's been to other galaxies, other planets, you know. And so I wanted to write something about a guy. I mean, how many times have you read a medieval or history book? Like, think about Marco Polo. He's literally like that. Marco Polo went to all these places in Asia and wrote about everything he saw. My guy, Ravengaddafi, traveled everywhere and he, you know, wrote these things down. So more or less, you know, as far as fiction goes, Ravengaddafi is the witness of these events, and I am the translator who has found his collection of stories, and now I'm sharing them with the world on his behalf. Something along those lines. And so that's the way I see it. So basically what I'm doing is explaining things about, but yeah, so it's just like he's like it's a different type of thing. So basically my stories are all fictional, but I'm writing like a medieval or ancient historian. You know, like you read a history book. There's a difference between when you read a storybook and a history book, or you read regular literature like Pride and Prejudice, War and Peace, and stuff like that. Those are all stories, meaning that they have characters with full dialogue and scenes and all that. My stories are written as a historical perspective, meaning there's going to be some dialogue, but dialogue isn't the main thing. If you read a history book, you know, you'll read it like it's a primary source or a secondary source. So to me, dialogue really ain't my thing. You know, I build up a scene, and so that's the way I'm keeping it. You know, like, it's all about writing is all about going in your strengths and your weaknesses, and like this thing says, it's evolving and John. Like, I want to do something different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to write how everybody else is writing. I don't want to. I don't want to write the American, you know, tale manuscript standard format shit like that. No, like, I'm not going to kill myself doing that. I'm going to do something new, different, and original. And you know, that's okay. That's another good thing about self-publishing this shit, on especially on Amazon. Amazon's like the greatest publisher you can have, and I can do it my way. I ain't got to worry about all that. So that's why, you know, I chose to do it on Amazon, because I was like, you know, no agency is going to take what I write because it's not in their standard format, and you have to really catch their eye. Not that I'm saying I can't, you know, I believe I will. You know, I'm just like, why don't I just go independent route and see how that turns out for me? And, you know, probably down the line I'll hit up an agent, you know, and he might like my shit. But the point is that I just want to do something different. So my stories are purely fantasy, whatever you want to call it. You know, they're written by me through the eyes of Ravengaddafi. So it's like I'm writing a story within a story, you know, something like that. And that's the way I'm going about it. And also in this issue, y'all should go get this Writer's Digest. I'm sorry. And the theme is writing short stories. You know, I've showed y'all to this about 3 or 4 or 5 times. And there's also another guy in here. This is what he said. He says, I look for risks. We want to see the writer try something fresh and original. That's exactly what I'm doing. I want to do something fresh and original. And I feel like writing this way is original. I mean, like, if you read like a primary text or something, primary texts are really interesting. Like, if you read classical literature written by men, you know, antiquity and stuff, like, the way they write is like totally and plus too, I don't read storybooks. Like, just so y'all know, I don't read any type of fantasy or science fiction. Like, if you're going to do something original, you just can't read. You can't really read what everybody else did, because you're going to think like, okay, I should do something different from that. But, and no offense, but today's fantasy is all fucking cliche. Like, you got like my now, see there, now I have read some fantasy, you know, because how else did I get in fantasy? Of course you ask. Well, I read Game of Thrones, the actual books. So George R.R. Martin is one of my favorite authors. So if I did read a fantasy book, I would read his. But since I started writing fantasy, as I got better at it, I stopped reading all types of fantasy, including his, and stopped trying to read other people's fantasy, because I basically got the same thing he said out of it. And he said, quote, you know, fantasy is a cliche. That's not the quoted part, but the quoted part is what he said is that, you know, it's the Dark Lord, it's dark minions, and it's dark castle. You got the light hero and all of that. And that's true. Like, fantasy has become very fucking cliche, and it's like, you know. Now, I have looked at some stuff from the past, like, you know, like Lord of the Rings and Dune. Like, that's some interesting stuff, but I didn't really want to go through and read it because I really wanted to focus on myself. You know, but that's another conversation for another day. But oh, Michael Griffin. I'm like, Melanie Griffin. Yeah, so that's just the way I see it, man, you know. So I think that's all I really wanted to cover today. Like I said, I'll get back to y'all next week. About my Toronto trip, talk more about that, and then we'll blog about it when I get there. Also, like, I'm still not sure about this whole WordPress issue. I may upload another video tomorrow, maybe. If I decide to go against WordPress and just, you know, give this to y'all online, like through video, then I'll talk about my graffiti project tomorrow, doing that, because I'm not sure if I want to continue with WordPress. Like, I don't know, I should probably start talking more too. But yeah, if it comes down to that, I'll just do an oral essay, and I'll do like an oral essay, and then I'll also like type some up so you can read along with it, or however you want to do it. I don't know. Like I said, this is purely speculative, so I'm not really speculative, whatever. So I'm not really sure how I want to do it. But what's more than likely is that I'll review the essay I wrote yesterday. So yeah, I think that's about covers really what I wanted to talk about. It's like I went into this one idea, but I feel like I went against the idea, but I stayed on board to my previous idea. Blogs are entirely new to me. I just don't know, but I like it though. So, and also let me give y'all brief announcements. Like I said, my WordPress is still up. If you want to go to WordPress, it's Ravengaddafi.wordpress.com. Also, subscribe to my channel, and subscribe to my friend's channel, my two sisters, Julie and Keely. They should be on the featured column of my page of this channel. And watch the trailer from my book. I actually made that trailer Sunday. I made that trailer Sunday, so go look at that. And go get the book, Renegadus, available at Amazon. Download it. Like, you don't need an actual Kindle device. You can get the Kindle app on your phone for free and read any Kindle book. Like, a lot of people think you need a Kindle device. You don't need a Kindle device. Just get the app on your phone. It works for any phone, and you just get a book. It's only $1. And hit me up, tell me what you think. And if there's any historians out there going to the Mid-Atlantic British Studies Conference or the Medieval Academy of America Conference in Toronto, please feel free to DM me and message me and hit me up. But yeah, that's it. Good night, y'all be good and stay blessed. Peace.